Chebuka Boyamolu, Professor Abdi Gulie, our acting CEO, Hussein Marijan, and all the directors in the commission, all the managers, and the entire staff of the commission, and all the committees that have worked tirelessly to make this day what it has been.
Nenga mbuza.
Operation plan and all those manuals. In the last 3 years, that's what we have been doing. And I'm happy that the day has come to launch those manuals. And I've heard what each and every speaker has said. I believe that each one of us, the agencies represented here today and those who didn't make it, our mandate in the Constitution is very clear. We are an independent commission, and so are most of you. Our independence is guaranteed. But when it comes to matters of managing elections, we need each other. And there's an aspect of that interdependence. And I believe, Reverend, you said it, we need to work together. Those of you who are planning for 2022 elections as we are, you need to internalize our operation plans so that we are in sync with all the activities we are working on. So let's work together so that we can produce a better result come 2022 elections. My work is to introduce the chief guest, but I will say maybe just one or two things. The first one is to thank all of you for coming today and honoring this invitation, which sets in motion the roadmap for 2022 general elections and boundaries review process. On behalf of the Commission, I wish to say Asante Sana and Karibu. I also wish to take this opportunity and Madam Chief Registrar, I hope you pass the message, to congratulate her ladyship, the Chief Justice, on her historic appointment as the First Lady Chief Justice of the Republic of Kenya and President of the Supreme Court. We pay homage to her leadership's industrious legal career and that has seen her rise to the pinnacle of the judicial system. As her leadership embarks on the tenure as the Chief Justice of the Republic of Kenya, we wish her the very best and look forward to a continued working cautious relationship between the judiciary and the Commission. For those of you who may not know, there's a lot that happens between the judiciary and the IEBC as we plan for elections. The judiciary have a judicial committee on elections, which actually meets the IEBC to plan for electoral activities which affect the judiciary. And today, we are gathered here to
may foster sustainable democracy in our country. Bless Kenya, bless this commission, and grant us peace, love, and unity now and forever. Amen.
MC, usijali, ni kawaida ya binadamu kusahau. Tumekusamehe, mvumilivu, huna mbivu, usisahau tena. Biblia inasema 7 times 77, bado uko kwa 1. Mvumilivu, huna mbivu, kama hawa kamera na video men, utasimama mpaka mkutano ishe. Vumilia, tutakuvumilia. Hata nyinyi pia waimbaji mtavumilia mpaka nimalize kuimba wimbo. Vumilia, nikimwona yule ndugu yangu mzungu ninaimba Kiswahili anashangaa ninasema nini. Labda nimesema kitu acheke, atauliza nimesema nini. Wewe duniani lazima kuvumiliana, vumilivu huna mbivu. Oh, na kuona Mr. Juma, vumilia, kuna joto lakini koti lazima ungare nayo. Ili uwe kiongozi wa maana lazima uvumilie. Vumilia tu, vumilia mama. Vumela, 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 vumela moi kwele. Vumela, 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 vumela moi kwele. Na kuona unacheka lakini maski na kuvumilia inazuia kuona kucheka kwako. Vumilivu hula mbivu, vumilia tu. DJ, najua unavumilia sana, najua time yako inakuja, lakini we live band lazima ibe ndio kwanza tuanze pamoja. IEBC strategic plan kuandika haikuwa rahisi. Leo tumekuja kushangilia. Kuna mtu hakulala, alikuwa anaiandika, alikuwa anaiwazia, alikuwa anaichorea, alikuwa anawaza badala yako. Ndio sababu leo itabidi tuvumilie 15 more minutes mpaka wakubwa wakuje. Wewe kaa tu, hakikisha umeongea na neighbor, ataona macho yako peke yake, mdomo imefunikwa, hata ukismile haoni. Vumilia, COVID ilikuja lakini lazima tuwe na positive attitude, positive attitude. Vumilia tu. Ukiona joto imezidi, kuna maji pale, tafuta maji, kunywa maji, zimbiza maji. Bado sijamaliza. When we launch the IEBC strategic plan, we know somebody must vote, somebody must think of the future. Mvumilivu, mvumilivu hula mbivu. Avum vum, avum vum. Haya sasa imbeni vumela, 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 vumela moi kwele. gutire modo tedete kwedwo ona nyenyenye dete kwedwo ona wewe dete kwedwo ma wedo isama kwe okay Beterona Johana Makioya Kyoje Kiamao ya Dedina Matarena Sio Betera Kemuera Okera Witware Umana Ogasira Gasokerera Aya Umana Ogosira Gasokera Yedea Dugata Siakuse Magana Utaboro Ketie Mokegoro Yao Umana hosi go shokerera Irio siakwa iria deaga Mae maya nyuaga Ona gua siakwe uba Sione noe Amokera isio Gado siakwa kumoni dini wakwa Egone Ewaga ewega jesu Yabara Amokera isya kwa kumoni ninewa kwa Degwane emwega jesu Yabararia hewa mode narosyo Dediaga dede newaroho Kakenaga dede newaroho Kakenaga dede newaroho Todo newa Roto gerawa ma Dediaga dede newaroho Amushaga dede newaroho Kakenaga dede newaroho Todo newa Roto gerawa ma Na Suti karenge Yeshu ki gungan karenge Aume ki suti karenge Yeshu ki gungan karenge Uhiraja Umasia mere jivan ka sahara Ohi Raja, O Masia, mere jivan ka sahara. Machenge, dum machadenge. Yeshu ki gongan karenge. Machenge, dum machadenge. Yeshu ki gongan karenge. Unatege menga matege ndong unatege machang matege ndong manetamiani nyane jobiyet unatege si matege unatege menga matege unatege machang matege manetamiani naye jobiyet unatege si matege Unatege minga matege nong. Unatege machang matege nong. Manita miani nyane idobia.
Unatege si matege yo. Unatege minga matege yo. Unatege machang matege yo. Nanita miani naye tumbaya.
Ngoni bana matege moch. Ngoni la kiri watege nong. Esakina miaden kidong. Manita miani nyane idobia. Unatege si
matege yo. Unatege minga matege yo. Unatege machang matege yo. Inanitamia minaye tumbaya.
Ngoni bala matege moch. Ngoni la kiri watege nong. Esakina miaden kidong. Manita miani nyane. Tam tam tam
Tam tama bote tam zabike. Tam tama bote tam zabike. Tam tama bote tam zabike. Nani tambia minaye tumbaya.
tam tam
Tama bote tam zabike. Tam tama bote tam zabike. Tam tama bote tam zabike. Nani tambia minaye tumbaya.
Aria boreanda binda boy, aria boreanda binda boy, aria boreanda binda boy. Ah, sunda yo laido yande.
Aria boy and the binda boy. Aria boy and the binda boy. Aria boy and the binda boy. Ah, sunayo.
Aria boreanda binda boy, aria boreanda binda boy, aria boreanda binda boy. Ah, sunda yo laido yande.
Aria boy and the binda boy. Aria boy and the binda boy. Aria boy and the binda boy. Ah, sunayo.
Oh,
Oh,
net nele,
down net nele,
abatanele,
down net nele. Aya, aya.
Amergusko,
Amergusko, Amergusko. Aya, etele.
down net nele,
Down net nele,
abatanele,
down net nele. Aya, aya.
Amergusko,
Amergusko, Amergusko. Aya, etele. Aya, etele. Aya, etele.
down net nele,
Down net nele,
abatanele,
down net nele. Aya, aya.
Amergusko,
Amergusko, Amergusko. Aya, etele.
Ngima lomba,
Ewa nuotio,
ngima polo lomba.
Ewa nuotio, ngima.
Aero yeso,
Ewa nuotio,
aero yeso ni kecho ara no no.
Ewa nuotio, ngima.
Wanu wadi oka yeso,
Wanuadi,
adiera.
Wanuadi ka Yesu, Wanuadi chamongima.
Wanu wadi oka bongoruo,
Wanuadi,
donga donga.
Wanuadi ka Yesu, Wanuadi
magaritero,
chamongima.
dongo dongo di kanyo.
Wanuadi,
Donga yonga,
Wanuadi ka
Wanuadi
Yesu,
yoga.
Wanuadhi chamongima
Chodo dong kodi kanyo
Wanuadhi
Donga donga
Wanuadhi ka Yesu Wanuadhi chamongima
Wanuadhi okobongoruo
Wanuadhi Wanuadhi ka Yesu Wanuadhi
Margarita Wanuadhi
Wanuadhi ka Yesu Wanuadhi chamongima
Kongo dong kodi kanyo
Wanuadhi ka Yesu Wanuadhi chamongima
Ninakwatie ngai wakwa ninakwatie tata
Ninakwatie ngai wakwa ninakwatie tata
Ninakwatie ngai wakwa for example ninakwata
Ninakwatie ngai wakwa ninakwatie tata
Tata tata
tata tata
tata tata
tata
tata
tata
Iduni negusio
Negusio pio
Iduni negusio
Negusio pio
Kuna moko we
Kuna moko we Kuna moko
Watakawaya
Kakwata ya
Watakawaya
Kakwata ya
Ninakwatie tata
Ninakwatie ngai wakwa Ninakwatie tata
Ninakwatie mozumbe Ninakwatie tata
Ninakwatie ngai wakwa Ninakwatie tata
Yesu kachiranga jenda
Saika Yesu kachiranga jenda Hallelujah kachiranga jenda
Sinako
Hallelujah kachiranga jenda
Mwigulu kwimbanga hallelujah Mwigulu kwimbanga hallelujah Mwigulu kwimbanga hallelujah Hallelujah
Mwigulu kwimbanga hallelujah
Sinako ongeza nguvu
Mwigulu kwimbanga hallelujah Mwigulu kwimbanga hallelujah
Yesu no mulai wanje Yesu no mulai wa monya
Yesu ni wa mulai wanje Yesu ni wa mulai wa monya
Yesu ni wa mulai wanje Yesu ni wa mulai wa monya
Yesu ni wa mulai wanje Yesu ni wa mulai wa monya
Onago IEBC tunayo strategic plan tunayo strategic plan tunayo olako ayaye sasa huko kwetu utakaa kuko sana buzia hivi webuye tunakulanga wimbo kama kuku ni tamu tunafanya lakini for example for reason per adventure lazima mtu tembea simama cheza kando atembea simama acheza katikati Sinako atembea simama acheza kando tena we atembea simama acheza kando. That is the only way they know that we are enjoying this thing. Nani ha strategic plan hamekufika sasa. We nani unaweka kusura kununa kwa nini basi? Haya twende tufanye tu kama kuku muda mbaya nakula kuku vizuri dada, ndio hiyo hivyo basi. Ndio wewe ukikula kuku nacho unaenjoy yanga ndio dadangu for example vipi ndio hivyo basi. Ndio alafu nekako kasmile nani usikae ni kama you've been through hell. Ndio umepata yako strategic plan nani na imekuja yako nani imekuja celebrate nani. Sasa una celebrate na kununa kwa nini? Tukuoni kwa mask hero ndio hivyo basi. Konga kasholta weka kichwa gonga kasho ndio sote umeipata. Ndio namna hiyo basi. Ona wale pale tunawaona, hawa hapa tunawaona, wale juu tunawaona. strategic plan kamekuja kwa sema acha kwa basi tusikie kana zimako nini ama lazima tuone lazima onako volako sipiki volako bande volako kwa Kenya tunapenda volako onako bande onako Wapi makofi ya Wakenya tafadhali, wapigeni makofi. Asante sana. Thank you. Maisha haya ninapita tu, hali ya sasa ni kwa muda tu, ushindi wangu ukaribu nami, mtetezi wangu yu hai.
Sitabaki kama nilivyo, sitabaki kama nilivyo, sitabaki kama nilivyo, sitabaki kama nilivyo. Silalamiki wala sikufuru, najua ni darasa napitishwa, imani yangu iko kwenye kipimo, najua nitapita tu, sitamani ya wengine wala sijilinganishi, najua wakati wangu upo, siogopeshwi na mapito ninayoyapitia, na mwamini yule aliyeruhusu nipite. Sitabaki kama nilivyo, sitabaki kama nilivyo, sitabaki kama nilivyo, sitabaki kama nilivyo.
I know after this meeting you will change. Know that your vote counts and your vote is the future. Usibaki kama ulivyo. You better know how to vote.
How to vote.
Know how to vote.
Know how to vote.
Your vote is for the future. And your vote is for now.
It's for now.
Are you ready to vote?
To vote.
Are you ready to be fair as IEBC? Usibaki kama ulivyo. They say somebody who plans sees the future. If you fail to plan, you plan to fail. Fail to plan, you plan to fail. You fail to plan, to plan to fail. You better know how to plan. We have been planned for. Afadhali sasa tusitoke hapa vile tulikuja. Nasema oh Baba, unajua kunifurahisha. Baba, umenifuta machozi. Dadio, unajua kunifurahisha. Baba, nitakusifu milele.
Baba, unajua kunifurahisha. Baba, umenifuta machozi. Dadio, unajua kunifurahisha. Baba, nitakusifu milele.
Mwokozi wangu you high,
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 you high.
Mwokozi wangu you high,
you high,
you high,
you high,
you high,
you high.
Mwokozi wangu So Evelyn Wanjiru writes a song that says, celebrate Jesus, celebrate, and this time we're not going to do this seated. You know the song, you don't know it, we got to celebrate. Strategic plan imekuja, we got to celebrate. Tuko na future, we got to celebrate. Celebrate Jesus, celebrate Jesus.
Celebrate Jesus, celebrate Jesus.
Wacheni kupanga line moja. Nataka tuko sawa watu wote simame. Simama. Kabisa sasa makofi ya Mungu. Celebrate Jesus, celebrate Jesus.
Celebrate Jesus, celebrate Jesus.
Celebrate Jesus, celebrate Jesus.
Celebrate Jesus, celebrate Jesus.
Shangilia Yesu, shangilia Yesu.
Shangilia Yesu, shangilia Yesu.
Ametenda makuu, makuu. Ametenda nini? Makuu. Bwana wa mabwana. Makuu. Makuu. Kweli makuu. Ngoja nataka kusikia mkisema ni kweli, we celebrate goodness, okay? Okay. Ametenda makuu. Makuu. Ametenda makuu. Fanya nini? Ametenda makuu. Kweli makuu. Amewawezesha. Makuu. Ametenda makuu. Makuu. Ametenda makuu. Makuu. All right. Now look at your neighbor. We know that God has done blessings. It's sending blessings to you and to us. Amesema in his book that blessings will flow. Count your blessings. So we're going to count the blessings. Tell your neighbor, well, hesabu,
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 Hesabu.
hesabu,
hesabu,
hesabu.
hesabu.
Now turn to the neighbor behind you. Mwambia hesabu pia yeye. Hey, hesabu,
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 Hesabu.
baraka hesabu,
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 Hesabu.
baraka hizo, hesabu,
Hesabu.
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 Nyosha mkono yako kwa waongozi ama viongozi, wapatie baraka. Shika baraka, baraka,
Baraka, baraka, baraka,
kuwa baraka,
Baraka.
weni baraka.
baraka,
Ipatie na wewe baraka, kwa sababu ndio sababu kwa hapa. Chukua baraka,
baraka,
oh baraka,
Baraka.
chukua hiyo baraka,
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 Baraka.
chukua hiyo baraka,
baraka,
baraka.
Baraka.
Lift Jesus higher,
Higher.
lift Jesus higher,
Higher.
lift Jesus higher,
Higher.
lift Jesus higher.
Higher.
Okay, one more thing, let's do this one thing. Songa katikati, nataka kuona drama. In Africa, clapping is very important. When we do something good, as strategic planners come, you must clap. So let's see whether you can follow the leader. The leader, you only clap when I clap. Let's go. You got it. Let's go. Strategic plan mumelala. Usingizi ya 2 hours, 1 hour. We are clapping for you. Strategic planners, God gave you the wisdom to write this. And you are our leaders. You too are our leaders. We clap for you too. This way. Let's go. Hey. Kuna mtu anachapa off. Ni nani huyo anachapa off? Let's go. Hey, Manile. ya Kenya. Esa Mubarak, esa Mubarak, esa shangwe na vigelegele. Ametenda makuu, makuu, ametenda makuu, makuu. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Let's appreciate Helen and team, please. Na asanteni sana Helen kwa kuniombea, sitasahau tena. Ulisema ni makosa ya kwanza, bado zingine 77 times another 77. The Chief Registrar of the Judiciary, Madam Hamadi, Chairperson, Independent Electoral and Boundaries Commission, the commissioners present, representatives from diplomatic missions, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, good morning. Good morning once again. It's actually a very bright day and a very good day for us to celebrate something. And what we are celebrating here this morning is a launch of a strategic plan for the IEBC that is going to cover the period that goes over. We just said it was important for us to recognize, the different people that have made these policies possible, as well as the strategic plan, because I know a little bit later on might not be easy for us to be able to do so. So it's only fair that we do so at the beginning. And we will also have different stakeholders that will be joining us here, because the IEBC works with different people, and we have to basically allow them a chance to also speak about their role in the strategic plan and the development of these documents, as well as their partnership working with the IEBC. And Director Catherine Kamindo, please, for coordinating all these processes. And I'm sorry, it's because sometimes the person who does all the bringing together, that person in the kitchen can be forgotten, but Catherine Kamindo there was coordinating all that. Let's appreciate her as well. I also want to request the following organizations, if you have representatives here, please just come and give me your names so that we can add you to the program. The United Nations Development Program, the Justice, Legal Affairs and Human Rights, Justice and Legal Affairs Committee, and the Office of the DPP and that of the Inspector General. So if we have representatives, please give me your name so that we can add you to the program. To kickstart our speeches, we are going to have Honorable Evans Misati from the Political Parties Liaison Committee. Karibu sana.
Thanks so much, MC, for the chance to speak. I want to adopt the protocol as spelled by the MC, and then proceed to my speech because of time. Members, my name is Evans Misati. I am the chairman of the National Steering Committee of PPLC. The Political Parties Liaison Committee was enacted by the Political Parties Act 2021, Section 38, as you are aware. The principal function of PPLC is to provide a platform for dialogue between Office of the Registrar of Political Parties, IEBC, and all the registered political parties in Kenya. And the work, or rather the objectives of PPRC, was majorly a creation of the recommendations of Judge Joan Kriegler. So the political parties is to champion and advocate for free, fair, and peaceful and transparent electoral environment and processes in Kenya. Nowadays, they have added the word, the results must be verifiable results, meaning the servers also need to be verified. To provide a platform for structured multi-party dialogue between the political parties, IEBC, relating to organization and conduct of elections and the electoral environment generally in Kenya. To enhance genuine interaction between sharing and information exchange between political parties, IEBC, as a way of building confidence in the electoral process. The political parties who provide candidates to learn in elections, which IEBC conducts, moving towards the general election 2022, on behalf of PPLC, I'd like to say the following. The Commission, IEBC, must be as clear and spotless as Caesar's wife. A good election does justice to the country. A bad election is an injustice to the country. The Commission must exercise its mandate to the fullest and delivering a credible poll to Kenyans. Anything else is not acceptable to the Kenyans. Let every qualified Kenyan be given an opportunity to participate. When political parties recruit members through the IPPMS, returns show that a large number of the members who are recruited to political parties are not registered and Kenyans, especially the youth. For example, we have several political parties which have recruited members, and the returns which we get monthly from the registrar of political parties, I've seen under Ritu here, who is the registrar, it indicates to us that those who are not registered, yesterday we say there are more than 4 million, but our records from the political parties, because we are the ones who have the list of members, it's more than 5 million members who are not registered as voters. We need to be very clear as a country, when do campaigns start? If we do not define this as a country, we will be in a perpetual campaign mood. We are seeing posters, billboards, aspirant recruitments, and mass rallies, all, truth be said, are campaign activities. This puts disadvantage to law-abiding citizens who are obediently waiting for the official campaign period. If you give a voter money outside the official campaign period, it's regarded as an act of charity, not bribery. So those loopholes need to be sorted out with IEBC. During the just concluded by-election in Bonchari, observers noticed alarming state of voter ignorance at a polling stations. For one instance, a BBOK observer filed a report with the party that some of the voters did not know what to do with the ballot paper. Upon voting, particularly the assisted voters, upon being assisted to vote, the lady literally walked to the door, leaving the ballot paper inside the box. So such are issues that need a lot of civic education to be done, further education rather. Political party agents are key stakeholders in the integrity of an election. When out of 13 candidates, only 4 agents signed that paper, it does not represent a good number that would show that representation has been done. So there's something that needs to be done. IEBC, we're hatching you. We look at the issues of agents, the training of agents and resourcing. How can agents be resourced? The Kriegler report, as I said, warned against last time changes to the electoral laws. Here in Adabu. To the electoral laws. And last week on Friday, we saw the Parliament, through the Justice and Legal Committee, they published some bills which is recommending the members of public to submit the memoranda. We could see bills like irrigation, the other bills of health, coffee, but we did not see the bills which are legislative bills getting the electoral circle, like the party primaries bill. So we want to request the members of the CHELAC, if they are here, to prioritize on that, so that as a country, we don't do bills relating the electoral circle the last minute. The campaign finance law is still out there. We are waiting for the last minute, as you are aware. What happened last time? So political parties, we are concerned about the campaign finance bill. This law will go a long way in bringing order to the chaotic witnessed during the party primaries. That is the party primaries bill. Today, Madam Chief Registrar, the political parties expect speed resolutions on dispute resolutions. And we are asking if PTD can be devolved to the counties, so that we cannot have somebody coming all the way from Mandera to come to Nairobi to have a dispute resolution resolved. That would save a lot of Kenyans the essence of moving from the counties. IEBC, I don't want to speak about procurement and testing. That one, I'm sure the commission, the way you are moving of late, we are seeing your work, and we believe that things should be done early enough to be able to be tested, to give confidence to the Kenyans. As you receive the new commissioners, we hope that there will be greater cohesion and teamwork and a commitment to duty for the welfare of the motherland. We need to see the departure from the past conflict and between the CEO and the commissioners. And we believe what we are seeing now, the commissioners are going to come to office. The other day I was looking at the kind of tests they'll be doing. We are going to have people even doing psychometric tests. That is for the first time in Kenya. And we believe those who will pass the test will be commissioned. CSU officers, the mamas decide to stay away from the polling centers. And that should be looked at, and that's why, as a stakeholder of the Inspector General, should look at that issues. That is not issues to deal with the CS Matiang'i. We expect the office of the Inspector General, because they're the ones who deal with the deployment, to deal with those matters. We are witnessing increased levels of hate speech. We are surprised, for example, when someone tells another person, I will deal with you. How does that the NSIC regard this as not falling within the threshold of hate speech? There is differences between I love you and I will deal with you. You do not deal with the people you love. There is need for redemption of the term hate speech. The Cohesion Commission must reparate some of these parameters. NCIC, I want to tell you, my members, the politicians, they are shameless enough that shaming them does not change anything in their life. So NCIC, we must look at the way we are going to address these issues. These are our members, I know them. We must try better strategies to deal with the politicians. First, we create for office. The other day, when we met with NCIC in Kisii, I want to finish and say that, ladies and gentlemen, we are all Kenyans. Elections are not about politicians. We must all work together to make sure that the process is free and fair. Our results must be accurate and verifiable and transparent. Our electoral processes must deliver finality. This will allow the country, or rather, to do other things in the coming 5 years, instead of politics to the end. A free and fair election will result in good governance. Good governance will be in short term for the national unity and equity. Through the parrot, voters can solve the national pandemics, diseases, ignorance, and poverty. Through the parrot, voters believe they can give themselves the best leaders they desire. However, when the process lacks integrity, voter apathy and despair are likely to follow. Citizens will feel that their votes and democratic action of voting amount to nothing. You make up what your hours in the morning to go and vote, but when the election is not credible, then that means nothing. Finally, members, our country is going through a deficit of truthness, especially amongst our political class. We have noticed a growing trend around the world where citizens are subjected to a lie detector. Maybe now as Kenyans we may go that direction where we have lie detectors to use to vet our candidates, so that we may not have situations where people are lying all the time to the voters. I wish to end my speech by thanking all the people who have come here today. Political parties did not come because of the COVID-19 requirements. But as you can see in this hall, we are social human beings. There is COVID, but you can see the way we are, the sitting pattern we have. There is here, we leave the other space open, we leave all there. So we are social human beings. So we need players. This COVID, if it comes in a very bad way, the way we socialize as human beings, it will be very sad. So we need players, and I want to thank you for listening to me, and God bless Kenya.
Thank you very much, Honorable Misati. In fact, I've learned something from you. Anytime you are allowed to stand on a podium and you can see people you've wanted to question for a while, you take advantage and ask them those questions and hope that they will respond. Dr. Reverend Samuel Kobia, kuna maswali umeulizwa, natumai utaweza kutujibu baadaye. Just a quick reminder that we are using the hashtag because the launch of this strategic plan, as well as the launch of the documents that we've spoken about, is part of the IEBC's annual Voter Education Week. So kindly help us tweet, help us on Facebook, push it. We are live on YouTube, the IEBC YouTube channel. And the hashtag that we are using is hashtag IEBC AVEW 2021. So that is hashtag IEBC AVEW 2021. So this is part of the annual Voter Education Week, and I like what Mheshimiwa has started by saying, the issue of continuous voter education, ensuring people understand what the processes are, what needs to happen at what time, and even not just waiting until that period when we have the elections. The next speaker is from the Elections Observation Group, that is ELOG. And ELOG is represented by the chairperson, Madam Anne Ireri. And of course, now that we have already heard from the political parties, it's only fair that we also hear from the observers on what their expectations are as we go into the 2022 elections. Karibu.
I wish to adopt the protocol observed by my earlier speaker. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, good morning. Good morning once again. My name is Annie Reri. I am the Executive Director of the Federation of Women Lawyers, or FIDA Kenya, but also currently the chairperson of ELOG. And ELOG is a premier domestic observers group in Kenya, made up of over 15 civil society institutions who have been working very closely with the Commission. Thank you. Allow me to start by thanking the chairperson, who is our good friend at ELOG, Mr. Chebukati, for this invitation to this occasion. This indeed marks the good and cordial relations since the start of the ELOG platform in 2010 that has allowed us to share wide-ranging information that has supported both our interventions. We also want to thank IEBC, for the consideration and uptake of ILOG's election observation reports and recommendations over the seasons of electoral cycles in Kenya that seek to enhance the credibility of the electoral processes. Indeed, the earlier speaker who has just alluded to some of the observations that ILOG has gone public about in terms of what we are witnessing as trends coming out of recent by-elections within our country. We also especially want to thank the chairperson and the IEBC by extension for gracing ILOG's occasions when called upon, such as last month's ILOG leadership meeting, where the IEBC chair was our chief guest. Thank you very much. ILOG, as a fraternity, appreciates the onerous responsibility vested upon the IEBC in managing and conducting elections in Kenya. We indeed appreciate the very difficult operating environment where, for instance, as has been mentioned, we seem to be as a country in a permanent campaign mode that starts right after the end of every election cycle. We particularly note that the coming elections and by-elections as have been carried out are taking place within the COVID-19 pandemic and the dynamics that this particular pandemic have introduced to the electoral processes. The 2020-2024 IEBC strategic plan is expected to guide IEBC through its delivery of the 2022 elections and other critical electoral processes, such as a boundary delimitation process. We note that the implementation of all the activities proposed in the SP will particularly require the full support of critical stakeholders such as Parliament, judiciary, related agencies, and other authorities such as the Registrar of the Political Parties, who we note is present. We therefore call upon these stakeholders to support the Commission as it delivers on its mandate for the people of Kenya. As ILOG, we trust that using the articulated strategies, the Commission will deliver on a people-focused framework of conducting electoral processes that not only inspire public confidence, but also promote Wanjiku or Atieno's ownership of her electoral processes and their eventual outcomes. ILOG's election project in the current electoral cycle aims at promoting, one, electoral justice, participation, transparency, and inclusive electoral processes through a sustained effort that will seek the partnership of all electoral stakeholders, including the Commission. And we do note that the key stakeholders are present today, and that is indeed very welcoming. As I conclude, I wish to note that ILOG, established as a citizen election observation platform, will continue to invest and provide data and information that is impartial, accurate, and objective in order to promote the integrity, clarity, and fairness of our elections in Kenya. ILOG joins other stakeholders present in congratulating the IEBC during this auspicious occasion of the launch of the 2020-2024 strategic plan, alongside other critical documents as have been articulated, and wish you the very best in the implementation. Thank you very much, and God bless Kenya.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Madam Anireri. And most importantly, I think the two of you now have spoken about credible elections. And that those are the first two speakers. And there's a question I tend to always ask myself. And that is, when you talk about the credibility of an election, does it matter really if your party is winning or losing? Because what we've seen, and not just in this country but globally, is the fact that we will only call an election credible when we are on the winning side, but when we're on the losing side, again, it becomes a bit tricky. So we need to have that embracive culture when we tell the IEBC to have credible election, at least for us to be able to look at it from both sides, that of winners and losers as well, because at the end of it's a win-win situation as long as we have a successful election. The next speaker is from the Council of Governors, and the Council of Governors is represented by Madam Irene Ogamba.
Good morning, everyone. First is to apologize that the chair of the Council of Governors was not able to make it for this meeting, and he sends his apologies. I will read his remarks verbatim as presented. The Chief Justice and President of the Supreme Court, Lady Justice Martha Koome, in absentia and represented by the Chief Registrar, the Chairman of IEBC, Mr. Wafula Ochebukati, the IEBC Commissioners, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, good morning. As the chairperson of the Council of County Governments, I consider it a great honor and privilege to be invited to participate in this very important event of the launch of the Commission Strategic Plan 2020-2024, operation plans which include the Boundaries Review Operations Plan and the Elections Operations Plan, as well as your internal procedures manuals. This invitation is a recognition that the county governments play a critical role in the electoral processes. First, let me appreciate the role of the IEBC in realizing the prosperity of our democracy. As an electoral management body, it is responsible for conducting referenda and elections to any elective body established by the Constitution. Other roles of the commissions include continuous registration of citizens as voters, the regular revision of the voters' roll, the registration of candidates for election, voter education, the facilitation of observation, monitoring, and evaluation of elections, the investigation and prosecution of electoral processes, offenses by candidates and political parties, as well as their agents. Ladies and gentlemen, effective execution of your broad mandate, and important indeed, requires close collaboration, goodwill, and participation of key stakeholders, including the county governments. It also requires deliberate efforts aimed at producing decisions and actions that shape and guide the Commission, what the Commission does, how it does it, and where it will be in future. Ladies and gentlemen, as the Commission launches these very important documents, it is my sincere hope that these important instruments will guide the Commission and steer it to achieving its vision of a credible electoral management body that meets the democratic aspirations of the people of Kenya. I wish to state that your vision resonates with the vision of the Council of County Governments, which is to provide a prosperous and democratic counties delivering services to every Kenyan. I wish to associate with the words of Thomas Jefferson, which says, "An enlightened citizenry is indispensable for the proper functioning of a republic. Self-government is not possible unless the citizens are educated sufficiently to enable them to exercise oversight. It is therefore imperative that the nation sees to it that it has suitable education that is provided to every citizen. As county governments, we will lend support to the Commission in realizing its mandate of effective voter education. We will support the Commission in ensuring proactive collaboration, awareness creation, and constructive dialogue with the people in the counties when there is need. This is in fulfillment of the Article 10 of the Constitution, which requires public participation in key decision processes. It is my conviction that this strategic plan being launched today has demonstrated that it has provided for a participation the Council of Governors and the Commission are in the process of developing a framework for collaboration. It is my sincere hope that the memorandum of understanding can be finalized and signed to pave way for implementation. To the chairperson of IEBC and the entire IEBC fraternity, I wish to state that good strategies in themselves do not deliver on the mandate. Delivery of your mandate will require leadership that seeks the public good. I have confidence that as a commission you have done some internal reflection and established what are your strengths, your weaknesses, opportunities, and threats. That by this strategic plan that you're launching today, you have come up with practical, action-oriented guide based on an examination of internal and external factors that direct goal setting and resource allocation to achieve a meaningful election system. We look forward to a time when the electoral system will win public trust to the extent that losers will happily concede and winners will proudly assume office. A time when leaders will not spend months or even years defending cases of claims of irregularities in the electoral processes. This will save the country from animosity, financial loss, to mention but a few. It will also allow the leaders to focus on delivering their agenda from the first day in office. Esteemed ladies and gentlemen, we as the Council of Governors urge all the stakeholders to support the Commission in achieving its mandate. You all are critical players, and unless you undertake your respective roles, then the aspirations of the people of Kenya for a democratic society will remain a pipe dream. To the Commission, I wish you well as you embark on another phase of your journey driven by the new strategic focus. Asanteni na Mungu awabariki.
Thank you very much, Madam Irene, Acting CEO of the Council of Governors, and our Director Corporate Affairs at the Council of Governors. Asante sana. And what you've spoken about in terms of people picking up a culture of conceding defeat goes in line with what we had said earlier in terms of credible elections, because the two, in a way, have to definitely go together. I'm still reminding you that we are tweeting. Just follow the IEBC social media sites: Instagram at IEBC Kenya, Twitter at IEBC Kenya, and Facebook, same IEBC Kenya. We are live on YouTube, so you can ask those who are not here who might want to follow the proceedings to check that out and follow us there. For those of you on Twitter and those of you on Facebook and Instagram, the hashtag that we are using is IEBC AVEW 2021, and the AVEW are abbreviations for the Annual Voter Education Week. So IEBC AVEW 2021, and the link for the YouTube channel can be gotten from the Twitter handle for IEBC. The next speaker or next stakeholder